Hello and welcome to our podcast. I'm Risa.
I'm Mariana.
And we're the Krolmeister sisters. As a reminder, this podcast is rated T for teen for strong language and mature themes.
I'm sorry, I wanted to think of a funny thing, but then it'd be like exposing the prank that we talked about. But anyway, if you want a podcast that takes their podcast seriously, probably, and is family friendly to boot, like you can't ask for more than that.
And it's about Nancy Drew.
And it's about Nancy Drew. Like, that's a triple threat there.
They should start paying us to promote it.
Should. We do such a good job. Anyway, go to her very own Unlocked. Or just stick around here and watch us, because it's way funnier. Listen to us. Well, no, they don't try to be funny.
It's true. They try to be serious and talk about Nancy Drew.
They try to actually, like, talk about Nancy Drew like it's their job or something. Like,
something
what?
like that. Exactly. Weirdos. So, what are we talking about today, sister?
I just almost drank my microphone.
Sister, we need to have a talk. Because Twitch just put out in their community guidelines that you can't stream drinking in excess because it's self-harm. So I just want you to realize that.
My first drink. This is the only drink I've had.
I know. I'm just making fun of you. So what are we talking about today, sister?
Today, we're going to talk about our top 5 ships of game characters.
Game characters. We're specifying games because we have not read the books in many a year. I think the last time I read a Nancy Drew book was probably 18 years ago.
Yeah, I think I was 12, so that would be about 18, 19 years ago.
Yeah.
8.
I know.
Tomorrow's my birthday.
Yay! Happy birthday! But yes, so that's why we're specifically saying most of these are game ships. 2 of them go through to the books as well, but that's okay.
That's true.
Yeah, the last 2 are also in the books
because
as well.
what you gonna do?
Exactly. So our first ship, we're not putting these like in extreme order, but I would say like the first 3 are in no specific order.
Mm-hmm.
They're all tied for top 3 for number 3. Putting that out there. So our first ship we want to talk about is Sunny and Jamila, or as Ariana has called them,
Samilla.
She is really into portmanteaus today, so
I am always into portmanteaus.
Ooh,
I can't say
that
it.
sounded really slurred. That
was because I went because I was like I am always into combining words.
There you go. So the reasons that we like Sunny and Jamila together, 1, they're so fucking cute.
So cute.
It's just a cute thing.
Like, hearing Jamila talk about Sunny is adorable.
Like, obviously, not completely made canon.
No.
We're
Just...
most of these are not canon. None. I mean, one of them is canon in the books at some point. Yeah.
No. I'm sorry. That was not what the face was for.
Obviously, these are what we want in our heart, and we think Sunny and Jamila would be fuck together.
Yes.
When she talks about him, she's always like, sounds like so cute.
It's like it's slightly hesitant. Like, she totally adores him, but she knows that he's batshit crazy, and she loves it.
Yeah, she does. He keeps her fun, and she keeps him not arrested. For just stealing artifacts, because
when you do that.
Yeah. But yes.
Yeah. I like to think she keeps him from floating away. Like, literally physically, I think he would float away.
Maybe.
Like,
It's possible.
it's a distinct possibility that the Anunnaki would just, grab him up. And she's, keeping him safe on the ground, on Earth,
Yeah. I also
usually.
like it. It's just, I love those people. You're going to see a lot of this. But I love ships that are, like, people who are more opposites
Hmm.
combining, and it's cute. I think it's adorable.
Yes.
Yeah. That's how I feel. That's how I feel about that.
It
You
makes her
know,
sigh.
it makes me sigh. So our next ship that we want to talk about that we think is, would be cute. I'm just putting it out there. This would be cute as fuck. Would be Bess and Deirdre. So
Bessedra.
yes, Bessidra.
I will
Bessidra.
give you the combined names of all of them.
Yes. The
Bessedra.
relationship names. The Brangelina, if you will.
That fell apart. That is a poorly timed joke, sister.
I don't care. I literally do not care. It's still the best way to describe the phenomena.
Yes.
Phenomenon. It's only one. I don't know. There's multiple cases of
There's
it.
multiple cases of it, so
Does
I would
that
say
make it a
phenomenon.
phenomenon or phenomenon?
It's a phenomenon.
Phenomena.
Do 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 do. Bess and Deirdre.
Bess and Deirdre. I think it's adorable because Bess is like a golden retriever. And Deirdre is like an incredibly feral cat.
Yes.
It's like April Ludgate and what is Chris Pratt's character on Parks and Rec?
I totally don't remember now.
Can't remember. I suddenly cannot remember his name whatsoever. It's great. Andy.
But Andy, there we
Andy.
go.
It's like Andy and April. That's that, one of them is vicious and the other one is just, exactly. So that's how I see them. I also see that they're like one of those couples where when they first started out, they were like trying to compete with each other until like to try and be better than the other, but then they started realizing that they were actually just doing it for attention from the other person. So
Yes.
it's cute.
And like I said, to be honest, when we were talking about this, I honestly shipped them with a bunch of different people. Like honestly, because there were people that like I didn't even touch. It was like I don't know who I'd ship them with, but it was like, oh my god, yeah, Bess and this person, Deirdre and this person, Deirdre and this person, yes. And then it was just like, no, this just makes sense. They're apparently the most shippable characters, therefore they're the most shippable together.
And I just love their interactions in Alibi and Ashes of like Bess like staking her out and Deirdre obviously knowing that she's staking her out. And it's just adorable. All of their back and forth.
Right?
It's
Just
just
like, I knew you were here.
adorable.
So good.
Love it. So,
Yes.
next ship. Professor Hotchkiss, Dr. Buford.
Okay, now I struggled with this one. It's either Hotchford or Bucus.
I like Bucus.
I like Bucus a lot.
It literally just sounds like someone's last name, though.
It also sounds like mucus.
Oh, that's true. That's not very like romantic.
So Hotchford or Bucus, I don't know. But yeah, this was one of my choices particularly.
Yeah. So that's Dr. Buford from the Legend of the Crystal Skull, and Hotchkiss from many titles, such
many
as
a time.
we most recently saw her in, talked to her in Tomb of the Lost Queen.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, where she used to call us wrong names. We do get to call her in Legend of the Crystal Skull, don't we?
Yes. Yes, actually, we did.
I literally just realized that they are both from Legend of the Crystal Skull. Then,
yeah, there we go. And therefore, we know that they're in the same universe.
They are in the
because
same
we already
universe.
know that Nancy has a multiverse thing. But anyway, not the point.
That's interesting now to know that Treasure in the Royal Tower, Legend of the Crystal Skull, and Tomb of the Lost Queen are all in the same universe with Scarlet Secret of the Scarlet Hand because Franklin Rose is mentioned in both as well.
Yep.
And then they're all in the same universes as whenever so Danger by Design as well because Prudence Rutherford
Prudence Rutherford.
and
So,
and Phantom of Venice.
yeah.
All of those
Yep.
same universe.
And
so any of those people are shippable together.
I lost that paper, by the way, where I was
no.
tracking this stuff.
You should have just done it in an Excel document.
Well, see, I started doing that, but it was really hard to keep track in my visual. Anyway, not the point. Buford and Hotchkiss.
Buford and Hotchkiss. Bucus. Hotchford. I think that's fucking adorable. Mostly because I spend quite a bit of time with old people.
Right.
So I can totally see this.
Same. So yeah, basically he would charm the pants off of her.
That's true.
Because that's who he is, and she's honestly, quite honestly, very easily charmed.
She's
Let's
very
be
susceptible
honest.
to charm, yes.
She's very susceptible. She'd just be like, "Woo!" like verbally. This isn't like something should be inward. If you,
yeah.
"Oh, well, aren't you flirty?" It's like
she would literally just be out there saying it, and it would be adorable.
You'd be like, "Well, yes, I am, ma'am," because that's how he is.
It's true. It's great, and they're both super smart because he's a literal doctor, and then she's probably she's a professor, and so professors usually either have to have masters or PhDs, and I like to think that she has a PhD, but she thinks it's stupid. I think she probably just thinks it's stupid for people to call her doctor when she's not a practicing medical doctor. I feel like that's how she would feel about it.
And
that's why she just goes by professor.
Might not have had the attention span to actually get a PhD.
That's true. Maybe she started 5 different PhD programs.
Yeah, exactly.
She just never actually finished her thesis because she got distracted.
Yeah, she has so many I lost the word.
Theses?
Theses, thank you.
Okay.
Oh, because I was like, theories, no. Theories, no. Theories, no!
Gotcha. It was really, sorry, side note. I had a bunch of people over today, and 2 of them are PhD candidates, and one of them just got his doctorate, and then the other person was just like me, and, we're regular people. And we were talking, and we were saying, and then the last person who hadn't gotten here yet, the one who actually got his doctorate already, we said we had all these chairs out and we didn't have one out for him yet. And so I was like, yeah, no, he'll just float. And she was like, what? I was like, yeah, that's what happens. Once you get your doctorate, you can just float. And everyone was like, yeah, totally. It's exactly what happens. Get doctor in front of your name, you can float. But yes. She probably, I agree, she might never have actually completed a PhD because she started, it's definitely history, but then she's just kept switching between what she wanted to do. So she got a master's, so she's a professor, but But either way, they're both really smart, so they could keep up with each other. I got back to the topic.
Yeah, which actually, funny enough, the next thing I was going to mention was that my favorite idea of them together is Hotchkiss going off on a one of her tangents, and eventually, like you just see Buford just watching her, and then he goes, "Honey, do you remember what we were talking about?" Yeah, and then brings her back around, and she's like, "Oh yes." Complete thought. There we go.
Like she's just been talking about the culinary traditions in Nordic culture, and he goes, okay, but what were we going to have for dinner?
Yeah, exactly. And he just watches her like
he lets her just keep going until he just goes, but
no, that's fascinating. But we're running out of time here. Everything's closing.
I think that's adorable. Just the idea of them together is just so cute.
I love it.
I don't know. That's just me. I don't know.
And me. I said it too.
That is true. So, continuing, all of these are just super cute, in my opinion. All of these just make me go, aww.
We got really no.
We really did. We went full diabetes level on all of our at least how we were describing the ships.
Yes.
I'm not going to lie. So our next one. So these are actually like all the last three are like the same level. We wouldn't really rank those, but the next two. This is our number two ship.
Our number two
Our
ship?
number two ship. So that would actually be Ned and Joe Hardy. So Ned Nickerson, Joe Hardy.
Which can be combined to either Jed or no.
Or like Jickerson?
Jickerson
Nardy.
or Nardy. Oh no, not Nardy. Jickerson's
Nardy sounds terrible. Nickerson.
Hickerson.
Hardy Nickerson? I don't know.
Nah, I'm going with Jed or no.
Okay, let's go with Jed.
No.
Go with
No
Jed.
is spelled Noe.
O-E.
Obviously, by the way, you guys.
Obviously. Come on.
Yes.
But yes, so Ned Nickerson and Joe Hardy, I think, honestly, would really cement, like, for a while, I kind of felt like that they would mesh really well. But I think what really cemented that for me is Captive Curse.
Absolutely.
And listening to them, they sound adorable together, for one thing. And I feel, so just keep with me here, is that they totally like had, because they grew up knowing each other because of Nancy. So they grew up kind of knowing each other from like teens onwards, and they probably started having like feelings for each other, but they're both like so, oblivious that they were like, no, that's just what friends feel for each other. We're just like really good friends. And then like once they get to college, like Joe goes, oh, I'm bisexual. Oh. And starts realizing, oh no, those are actual feelings, like romantic feelings. I feel like he then goes to like Ned, and Ned has like a moment of, what? And then goes,
wait, huh?
Wait. That's how I feel it happens, is that they like suddenly as they're older, they go, we're really good friends, but these are also other feelings. Oh. Also, they're really good guys, and they're both complete goofballs.
Yes.
Like, they're goobers. I'm sorry.
They're total goobers.
They are. And that makes me feel all, like, warm and fuzzy inside.
But also, like, Ned is used to like Nancy and Bess, honestly. So he's used to someone who's like reckless, and he's used to someone who's like not always thinking things through and just kind of being generally like, oh wait, next thing, shiny, look. And so he's like he's able to take to look after Joe and then be like, okay, hold on, let's bring the antics level down to we're gonna bring it down from Monty Python antics.
Yeah.
Yes.
I also think Joe is probably like really affectionate. Like, so I think he like will be in like the middle of a case and just think of something and just call Ned to tell him about it. Like, oh my gosh, I found this thing that made me think of you. And it'll be like, I just found this bloody handprint. And it made me think of you because it was red romance, totally.
Aw, thanks.
Thanks.
I appreciate that, sweetie.
I also like just again, going back to Captive Curse, I feel like Joe tries to fix things like for Ned or make things for Ned. And it's like, yeah, no, I totally made this for you. Or I fixed your car for you. And Ned just goes, awesome, thank you so much. And then like Joe walks away and he just quietly fix it, make sure it actually works. Just, one of those things where it's like, I enjoy you and how you feel about this, but I'm going to make this work.
Yeah.
I love it. Yes.
But yeah, that's all we have to say about the.
I think it's
no.
Jed. I think it's adorable. I literally cannot get over this one. Yes. It's too cute to think about.
Yeah.
Pretty much. However, that comes to our OTP.
Yeah.
This is literally just our OTP. I'm not gonna lie.
The OTP to end all OTPs.
For people who are not like big shippers, I guess, might not know the terminology.
The lingo, if you will.
But OTP, one true pairing. this has to be at least my OTP in the Nancy Drew games and books. I'm not going to lie, because there were lots of books where this crossed over. I'm
Yeah.
just saying. There were some of them that made it more or less canon. Just putting it out there.
They got all
Putting it out
kissy
there.
kissy.
It's true. So,
In case you haven't figured out what we're talking about
we're talking
yet.
about Frank and Nancy.
Yeah,
Frank Hardy,
just-
Nancy Drew. Or Francie, which is already, we didn't even have to come up with a fucking...
I didn't even have to come up with something. I would have, like, Nank or something.
Nank! Or, as the fandom refers to it, Francie. So Francie is our OTP. Like, hands down, it's just, it makes sense.
Like, come on, y'all.
For us. I know this is more, like, all the other ships are like, you know,
They're how we feel.
They're how we feel. And no one's really gonna, no one's going to argue with us about them. But I know that this is more controversial. Because there are people who prefer Nedsy. But obviously we prefer Jed and Francie. So, putting that out there. And Francie just, it works. It works on a level that, like, at least in games, because obviously in the books, Nancy, when she had several boyfriends, she was never just with Ned. Ned just ends up being the one that all of the
media,
all of the more recent adaptations have used. They're just like, yeah, Ned's just her boyfriend.
Ned Nickerson, he's got a catchy name. We'll use him.
I mean, that's pretty much. Ned was never just like her only boyfriend in the books. The books went on for too long for that to be a thing. Like, honestly, we're just putting that out there. People get too bored.
Yeah.
But, like, Frank and Nancy make so much more sense. Like, we're just talking about games. Talk about the games. But also in the books. But the games...
But we focus on the games.
Focus on the games. The kind of stuff that, like, are obviously, like, friction points with Ned and Nancy. We don't have those issues with Frank and Nancy. And Frank and Nancy, like, they understand each other on a level that, like, other people don't. Because they both are in the same kind of world. So they understand, and they both have the same priorities. Which I think is a very important part of a relationship, is for both members to have the same priorities.
Yes.
So it's like, what really cements it for me is that conversation in Creature of Kapu Cave when Nancy's talking about, well, I was looking around the Healy, and Frank goes, you were snooping. She goes, I was snooping. I was like,
married.
That's top married couple banter going on right there.
Yes.
That's married banter. It really just is. It's
so good.
It's fantastic. I love dialogue between them with, like, no matter who the writer was, like, at any point, you can tell some of the writers shipped Francie.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just putting it out there.
You mean like and then, if we're gonna go, anecdotally, if we're gonna go anecdotally, then, definitely, one of everybody's favorite, example is in Captive Curse when Ned and Nancy are kind of on the outs, and
because they have different priorities in their relationship.
And Frank could easily just swoop in. He could easily just do that, but he's like, it's fine if that does happen, but honestly, Ned's a good guy. He really loves you. So, maybe you should just, like, it's like I could be that creep that just swoops in, or
it's like
I could actually care about her,
the opportunity to put it out there, like, he's no good for you, right? I know a lot of
you guys have different priorities. I mean, what you gonna do about that? See? Yeah.
Exactly. But he doesn't, because he knows he wants Nancy to be happy no matter what. And that's like his top priority, really, other than the snooping, because they are both very bad with that. I'm just putting it out there. They do have problems. But I think that they also, like, in a way that, let's look at like Silent Spy, where Ned feels like he's kind of losing Nancy to the sleuthing, so he's like enabling her in it in a
Yeah.
way. Like that that's how that feels.
Yes.
Whereas Frank would literally just look at Nancy and be like, I understand that you're wrapped up in the case and if what needs to be done, I'm not going to question you. However, you need to like make your safety your priority.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's that kind of thing where it's like, I know what I would do in this situation, so I know what you're going to do in this situation. However,
Exactly.
because he understands on that level is the
Level.
is that I'm sorry. I'm very, very passionate about
yeah.
Francie, apparently.
Yes. Apparently. We knew that, sister.
I know.
We knew that.
I know. People on Tumblr disagree with me, but
I know.
then they also agree with me. Different people on Tumblr.
Yeah.
Surprisingly enough, Tumblr is not one large entity and is many different people using the blogging platform. I know, it's crazy because people do like to tend to say, well, Tumblr does this.
Yeah,
And
like it's an entity.
what part of Tumblr? But yes.
Yeah.
That's how I feel. That's how I feel about Francie, is that they definitely, like, sure, they might also feed into each other a little bit, but I feel like since they're never working on the same case for so much, like sometimes they do, obviously, crossover books
Yes,
as well
yeah,
as like in the games with Blue Moon Canyon, they're
And
obviously
they
working
brought
on the
her
same case.
along. That was not
They were like,
working the
okay,
same case.
yeah, they were like, we could have all of these people who are, detectives, or we could bring Nancy Drew with us and win. Like,
Right.
that was literally, you can tell that Joe was like, hey, Frank, if we brought Nancy with us, we could just win.
Joe, that's not the point of
But
Frank.
Frank, we could win. So that's definitely how that happened, and it. And also, Joe goes, and you can get some alone time with Nancy.
Right. Well, I mean.
Exactly. Also, I want to point out that part of my vehemency here is that as children and teens, Ariana and I were she was very into the Joe Hardy type, and I was very into the Frank Hardy type. And I'm not going to lie, I've pretty much, my boyfriend is the Frank Hardy type, and that's just how it is. That's just how it is. That's how this life is, and you have to agree that that's true. And I have Frank and you have Joe. That's just how life is.
Pretty much.
But yeah. Those are our top 5 ships. Please do not send us death threats about those.
Right. People get really adamant about their ships.
So you can tell us you disagree with us, but please do so in a civil manner on our YouTube, Twitter, Tumblr, or SoundCloud. Or on, I guess you can leave comments on this VOD on Twitch as well.
That's true. That's very true.
Not gonna lie to you, we don't really look at, but you can do it anyway if it makes you feel better.
Yeah. Or you can just come find us, like on our other things, like we said, the Tumblr and Twitter and
those we'll YouTube. Actually see.
Because we'll actually see those, and it'll be like, you found us and you made an impact.
Exactly. So you can tell us on all of those things. And just as a reminder, you can also subscribe to us now on Twitch, which means you get to use our cute little emote, which looks like a little wine glass.
It's really adorable, and despite the fact that we do have subscribers, I haven't gotten to see it used in our streams.
You did. Al used it on one of your haunted carousel streams.
Pay attention to Al. That doesn't count.
It's okay. He doesn't watch the podcast, so it's fine.
Exactly.
But yes, and you can also. It's only $5 a month to subscribe, or what's even better is if you have an Amazon Prime subscription, you get a free Twitch subscription every month. Connect those up and give it to us for no cost to yourself.
Well, you said that, but it hasn't connected with me yet. I'm like, oh, I have Amazon Prime.
Do you
There's some
realize
subscribing I can do.
do you realize that my boyfriend also has Amazon Prime? And guess who he gave the Amazon Prime subscription to this month? Not us. So I'm just
Thanks,
putting it out there.
Andrew.
Just putting it out there. But yes, but you can do all of that as well as there's another word there's another thing I was going to talk about and I can't remember.
You were going to talk about
and you can shower us with bits.
There you
See?
go.
There we go. You can shower us with bits, which is like making it rain in pennies, which is always appreciated.
You see, it's the fun of making it rain in pennies and feeling like Scrooge McDuck without the pain of pennies.
Without the pain of trying to dive into a pile of gold, which would break all of your bones.
So many bones.
So many bones. So instead of breaking your bones, give us pennies.
Yeah.
So just as a reminder, I'm Risa.
I'm Scrooge McDuck.
No, you're not.
I'm Ariana.
And we're the Krolmeister sisters, and we're asking you guys to stay sleuthy.